Hey you guys, it's me Gemstone at tarotforhealing.com. I hope you guys are doing really well. Before I get into the reading, I'm going to do a general one. I wanted you guys to know that I am doing a half price offer on my website, so all my readings are going to be half price. This is going to be going on for a few days, so do go over there and check out the deals that's going on, and it'll be really lovely. If I have never done a reading for you before, this is a great chance for you to go and order a reading, because obviously it's at a discounted price, and even if I've connected with you before, it'll be nice to connect with you again. So do go over there and check that out. I am going to be using two different decks in this one. To be honest, like I sat down and I started to do a reading with the beautiful Oracle card deck by Dorian Virtue. Then I kind of felt like the reading was missing something, so I went over and I got my Anna Kay deck, uh, and I just kind of wanted to merge the cards together and see, what message it gives. So I'm just going to shuffle up this deck. I'm going to pick three from each, and then we'll see what turns up. And this is a general message, so this is for just any and everyone that is watching. And then we'll see what turns up. Okay, so first card from the Anna Kay is the Six of Pentacles, and the Empress, and the King of Swords. Now, because this is a general reading, obviously I'm going to look at those cards in more of a general way, not so much of a specific way. So it's almost like a message that can apply to all of us, no matter where we are, what country we're in, and things. Because I know a lot has been happening, especially in America, with the whole Trump being president. So I think it'll be a good time to do a reading for everybody. And so, and it's nice to sort of incorporate the butterflies deck to kind of bring some nice energy to the reading, to a bit more uplifting energy. Religion and spirituality. I like that one. This is so beautiful. Oh, blue is my favorite color, and pink is as well, so I just really enjoy that card. I love butterflies as well, so that's why, like, I was waiting for this deck for ages. When it hadn't like officially came out yet, but I was like, as soon as it comes out, I'm going to get it. So I did pay slightly more for this deck than I probably could have had I waited. And then I like this one a lot. I just love the message, and it's just a beautiful butterfly. And it says, "Be true to you." And the next one is, oh, get some rest. Oh, isn't that the truth? That's what I need right now. Some rest. Get some rest. Right. So what I was kind of seeing in the tarot cards is, with the Six of Pentacles and the Empress, it was kind of saying to me, I feel like this is a time where we really have to be of assistance to each other. I think that there's a lot of people in need of a lot of help and support, and I think it's about time to really sort of focus on how we can support other people. Sometimes the conventional ways of support isn't always the best ways. Like, I mean, I don't want to be controversial or say anything that's going to offend or anything, but it's like, I mean, if I have to tell tell it as it is, I feel like, this card is usually about charity. And we've been finding, there's like charity organizations that aren't really giving that much support to the causes that they're supposed to be like supporting. And that's very disappointing. I mean, like recently, my family is from the Caribbean, And recently they had the hurricane that passed. The hurricane, was it Matthew? And America was also affected as well, and quite a few of the Caribbean islands were too. I think well, in America it was more like Florida and them kind of ones, the ones that are based more in that kind of region. But so it was like, and then Haiti was obviously like quite, it was very badly affected, and they've been so unfortunate with these kind of natural disasters that's been happening to them, in more recent times. And to see that charities like the Red Cross and things, what happened to all that money through the other disasters? Like, the people of Haiti hardly got any help, hardly any support, and it's really horrible. And the people are struggling out there, and it's just like there's always and I understand that obviously these are big organizations. They have to take some of the proceeds to fund the organizations and things like this. So not 100% can go to the cause. But I think it is really disappointing when you are raking in millions and yet on the ground, people aren't seeing nothing. Like, hardly any homes have been built, like less than five or something ridiculous like that. And yet, it's like, where does it go to? And so I think, but to be honest, I think that the sad thing is about that is that it can make people deterred from supporting certain charities and causes. And but then on the other hand, I think the good thing that comes out of it is that people do find alternative ways to support um people in need. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we have to get creative with the way that we do charity. We have to get creative in the way that we lend our support to others, and let's not be deterred by certain organizations and things that clearly aren't doing what they need to be doing. We have to kind of still stay the course and still be able to help as many people as really need help. And and I think this is coming up for me because this is something I was been thinking about recently, and particularly yesterday, with the crisis that is kind of going on in the UK and stuff, with so many families, especially with the benefit changes, having to be dependent on food banks and things like this. And each year I do donate food and things like that, to reliable places where the people will get the food and everything else. But then I kind of feel like there's more that can be done, that I would like to contribute and things like that as well. So it's like, I think we have to kind of think of ways of supporting each other, especially in this time where things are so rough for a lot of people. And I think the Empress kind of embodies that energy of being generous, of having plenty and sharing and caring and giving love. And it can be money, because the Empress is also connected with Venus. So it can be what you financially give, but it also can be in because the Empress is also about harvest. It's also about like what you grow, what you plant, like fruits, veg, and all that kind of stuff, all the wholesome good stuff. It's we can even share those things, like in our garden we had we were planting quite a few things. We had quite a few things that we were growing like throughout the earlier months. Obviously now it's kind of past that season, so we were able to pick all the stuff. Like, we had like pumpkins, we had corn, we had um peas. What else was the other thing we had? We have apples. There was something new I think we planted as well. No. I was gonna say strawberries, but we didn't plant strawberries. My uncle planted strawberries, and then he gave us like his, and they were really nice. So that's another thing that like we do as a family. Like, we share what we've grown. Like, we gave like some to my aunties and my brothers and all that kind of stuff. Like, sharing like the food that we grew, and it's really nice. It's a nice thing to do, and it's a nice thing to share. So I think the reading is, to me, is kind of saying that sharing is caring, and it's about looking after people. And obviously, Empress also is a mother kind of energy. It's a nurturing energy. So I think that, what the reading is kind of saying is that we need to really be thinking about nurturing each other and caring and sharing and giving, because the six of Pentacles is about, like, you can see the woman with the scales. It's about balance. It's about, if you're on this side of the spectrum where you have, giving to those that don't have, to create more equality, which is really crazy because I was just briefly watching an old video of Tupac when he was alive, and he was talking about, how is it in this world that you have people that have so much money, and was referring to Donald Trump and those like it, people that are rich, or people that can win the lottery and win the jackpot and get all this money, and yet there are people that still, don't have nothing to eat, that are living rough, all these other things. And it's crazy because it just shows that there is a huge amount of inequality in the world, a huge amount, where it is true, you get people that are like filthy rich and people that are so poor, and there's no real excuse for it, like, in this world, because really, just like the Empress, there is more than enough to go around. There's more than enough resources, there's more than enough wealth, there's more than enough, whether it's education, whether it's food, there's more than enough in the world. But for some reason, you get countries and places that they just don't have, and it's not right, and it's not fair. And it's not fair that when we do have the resources and do have the means, that we withhold it from people that are in the most need. And I think that's the most saddening thing. And that's why, people are always wanting to talk about, putting certain people in power and things like this. But what are the people in power really doing for those at the bottom? Like, that's the biggest question. What are they really doing for those that need the most help right now? And the sad thing is like the attitude of the leaders that we've been having in the UK recently, our conservative leaders. Their attitude is very much that, people should pick themselves up by their bootstraps and, go out there and work and earn their own living. But what about those that are disabled? What about those that are trying to make the best of their situation and that have just fallen on hard times? That can happen to anybody. What kind of support is there for them, other than you just saying, well, go out there and find a job? When even then, you can go out there and find a job, but if you live, especially in London, cost of living is very high, you know? So you can have a job and still not be able to afford all your means and everything you need to take care of yourself. And to me, it doesn't make sense also that they should be so many jobs out there that are paying people such meager wages when the cost of living and everything is rising. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So it's like, things do need to come into balance financially, because right now things are completely out of balance, and something has to be done about it. you know so and then it's the King of Swords, and the King of Swords to me is more the one that would find the solution in the problem. And it's like, we have to think about things in a very critical way, we have to think about things in a very logical way, and present real understanding when it comes to the issues that we are facing right now. And it is difficult times in a lot of places. It's very difficult, and but the solutions are there. But the problem is, I think, as well, is we are very dependent on our leaders to make things right and do the right thing. But then the problems are is that what what are they trying to push, though? What are their beliefs on this situation? Are they really going to be the ones to change things and make it better? Are they really going to be the ones to really hear the outcry of the people and know what the people want, and be like this King of Swords is doing, where he's being very strategic with his moves and what he's doing, but at the same time, he is the one, again, that will solve the problems, that is able to think of the solution. He's able to strategize and win. So it's almost like, can we find the strategy or find the way that will really help benefit on a larger level? Yeah, so that's what the King of Swords kind of represents in that respects. I think the spirituality and religion card with connecting with the Six of Swords is kind of saying, I feel like for those of us that are very spiritually inclined, I feel that it's really for us to kind of step up and come forward. And it's like, for me, we can always contribute something, we can always do something. I feel like even if it's a case of just putting good intentions out there, putting optimistic energy out there, being a support to other people is such a big deal right now, because so many people are going through so many things, and sometimes just being a listening ear, just being the person to show your support can go a long way. So it's not just all about contributing financially, and all that kind of stuff. It can also be about other means of support and help, and whether it's even volunteering, something like that, to really bring things along. But I just feel like we have to kind of find a way of bringing things into greater peace. And uh I would think, any person that really has their really is in tune with that kind of side of self, that they'll be able to be um understanding enough, be able to be sympathetic enough to be able to really understand how we can really benefit other people, what we can do for others, not just thinking about ourselves, but kind of yeah, just coming from a more heart-centered place, especially with all the pink that's in this card. And yeah, and it says be true to you, which is an interesting message. I think this be true to you card can also be, because it showed up after the religion and spirituality card, it could be connecting with that one. It may be connecting in ways of saying, maybe some of you guys, maybe you do have spiritual beliefs and things that might be different from the people around you, might be different from friends, family members, and things like that. They may question what you believe, but that's okay for them to question. I think this card is about, basically, like it says, you being yourself and not being afraid to come out and express yourself the way that you want to. Because if you look at this butterfly, like, this butterfly is so beautiful. It has all different colors. It has a very, unique pattern. And we are all unique creatures. We are all, like, like they have that saying, God broke the mold when they made you, kind of thing. I think that happened for every single person that is on this planet, because everyone has something about them that is unique, that is special, that is slightly different. It's and because of that, I think that it is important for us to express ourselves. I think too often we get stuck in this way of thinking that we have to all be the same in some kind of way. And and when we're not the same, or when we feel like we don't quite fit in, then we tend to kind of feel like out of place, or down about it, because they're like, how comes I can't be like everyone else? And I think, especially when you're young, you have that way of thinking. But I think a lot of the time, especially when you grow up and you become more more into yourself, you become more like um an adult, you kind of become a bit more confident, or a bit more comfortable, I would say, within yourself. And then it can be a bit easier to kind of accept all your quirkiness and all that kind of stuff. Whereas for some people, they actually are young and they are quirky, and they're completely okay with showing people that they are. And I think that's totally amazing. But I know for me, it took me a while to be able to really come out of my own shell, and be who I wanted to be, and kind of be confident within myself, and not really too much caring about the judgments of others. I mean, even just being a reader, that's a huge thing, because no one in my family, does what I do. None of them, not all of them would understand anything that I do, And to be honest, I don't discuss it with everybody, because I just feel like I don't really care to get the opinions of what everyone thinks about, what I do or what I believe and everything like that. I feel like, for for any other reason. It's important for me to understand that, but it's not really hugely important for everyone else to. But I think, again, it's about being confident enough to say, okay, this is who I am, this is what I like, and not feeling any way about it. And then it says get rest. So like I said, I need this one because I think it's just about not doing too much, not wearing yourself out, uh bringing things back into a sense of moderating your time, because sometimes we can get so caught up in things and focus on what hasn't been done, what needs to be done, all this other stuff, that we really don't take the time that we need for ourselves to just be ourselves and just be okay with all of that. um yeah, so that's the general reading for today. Peace and many blessings to you guys. I'll be seeing you. Bye bye.